Can you hear me?
Yep.
I think I need another earphone because I'm hearing this tapping noise in my ear. Are you hearing it?
No.
Okay. We're not recording on. Oh,
We definitely are.
hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, boo.
How are you?
It's Monday,
Mm-hmm.
so well for the listeners,
It won't be.
it won't be, but you know,
Yeah, it's one of those like the beginning of the work week.
right? How are you?
I am good, I guess. Y'all probably think that I'm the most sickly bitch in America because I swear I feel like every time I get on here, I'm talking about how sick I am. But I literally have had this. I don't know if it's a cold. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's been multiple colds or what. But I feel like every week is different symptoms or whatever. And so it went from being like flu type symptoms to cold type symptoms to sore throat to I don't know, bro, but I am giving myself a deadline of Friday, and if I'm not feeling better, then I'm about to just say F it and go to the
The
doctor.
doctors?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
people was like, go to the doctor because like I literally have to keep changing what medicine I'm taking because my damn symptoms keep changing. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I'm all right. I'm good.
A couple of years ago, I kept getting sick, and freaking, what happened? Oh, I ended up having to go to the doctors like every 2 weeks because they kept giving me like over the counter crap, and I was just like,
This shit ain't working.
so this isn't gonna work.
Right,
I need antibiotics, and they like to tell you all the time, well, antibiotics, they only cure blah 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 blah. But
but it
they were
wasn't.
only they were only diagnosing me to just have like a simple cold. So finally, because I had been in there for like I think like 3 weeks in a row,
Mm,
and I had already been sick 3 weeks prior to that, they finally gave me antibiotics. Guess who got better?
you.
Fucking hate diagnosing myself. What the fuck do we pay you niggas
Like
for?
for real, my friend, she was sick and like her throat was killing her, so she ended up deciding to go to urgent care and kind of find out she had strep throat, girl. But they obviously diagnosed her correctly and gave her the right meds, so she's feeling better already. So she was the main one, like, just go to the damn doctor, please,
Yeah.
guys. So yeah, if I'm not feeling better, like, and I mean 100%, because it's been times in between where I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm good, like, yeah,
And then you
and then
end
the
up
next
sick.
day I'm like, what the hell? So I don't know. I really don't know what it is. And then my son's daycare sent a letter today. Well, not a letter, but a message saying that they had a case of hand, foot, and mouth in the joint. So to make sure you check your
Mm.
kid. But I've been sick, so literally he ain't been there in a week. So I know he ain't got it. So
Right.
that's good because that's the last thing I need to catch. I told you about the time when my daughter they had
Mm-hmm.
at her school and then my husband ended up getting it.
Yeah.
I was like, yikes.
Super
Yikes
suck.
Aroni. So yeah, we definitely don't want that up in here. But anyway, what's good? What's good? What did you do this weekend?
This weekend I did mom things.
Oh.
I did errands. You know, everybody was living their best life this past weekend.
Hmm.
Everybody was at homecoming
Look, it was like a
somewhere.
homecoming weekend, bruh.
They did all the homecomings that feel like on the same
And
weekend.
normally they stagger it. It seems like most of them
Dogs.
for HBCUs they stagger. Like, you'll have some on this weekend, but I really feel like everybody was posting this weekend.
And I was like, all y'all niggas did not go to the same school. So
Oh.
I started looking. I was like, oh, so MSU. You know, like,
Right.
okay,
Everybody,
true.
Bowie, everybody, Howard, like everybody's
Yeah,
damn
Howard's
homecoming.
was. Yeah. Because Howard's is always the weekend of my husband's birthday,
Oh,
who wasn't here,
I know.
who was
That's
also living his best life.
so
And I was just home
blown.
doing nothing.
Yeah, my husband, he went to our homecoming this weekend, but I stayed home because it was just too much of an effort. I was like, yeah, I'm not going. Like I don't think I've been in 2 years now. But it's not that I don't want to go, but it's just like now it's like a super big effort to go. Like we gotta board the dog. I gotta get my kids to be watched if I go down there for multiple days, and then my daughter's in school, so she would have to miss days like Friday or whatever to go to school, and then the drive, and then it was just, and then I wasn't 100% on and off, wasn't feeling good anyway, so I just didn't have the energy to put forth the effort to go. But it seems like everybody had a good time. I think it rained on one of the days. Womp womp. Sucks to be y'all. But I stayed home. I got to binge watch Making a Murderer on Netflix.
I still haven't watched it.
So it made me feel amazing. And my mom came and yeah, I got her kind of hooked on it a little bit, and she was just like, "So tell me," because she ain't watched
The first
season part.
season.
So she's like, "So what's going on? Or who is this little boy?" So which is annoying because I gotta pause it and explain to her what the hell's going on. But yeah, I got to binge watch stuff, and then I started watching the little those CNN things where it's like the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like I started
Yeah,
watching that.
I watched the 90s. I think I'm on like episode. I'm halfway through that one.
Yeah, I think I'm on like episode 6 of the 80s. For some reason, I started with the 80s. I was like, at first I was going to do 70s, 80s, and 90s. But then I kind of skipped the 70s. It was like, let's just go to the 80s. Like, let's go. Which it was really good, like all of the nostalgia and stuff. So it was pretty good so far. And then I was super hyped because I found out on Friday or Saturday, maybe it was Saturday, that my girl A. Marie released 2 damn albums or EPs. So super hyped because I like her. So and it came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it at least. So it was just like a lot of washed up, exciting stuff for me. So I enjoyed my weekend. Where everybody was getting lit homecoming parties, I was doing washed up old people mommy stuff, and I loved it. So yeah.
Well,
Well, then it is.
there
So,
it is.
so we are on episode 12,
Mm-hmm.
and any deep what am I trying to say?
A numerology?
Numerology, yeah.
No, I don't think so.
It's
I don't
probably the
have
same as
one for
11.
12.
Yeah.
No, it's not the same as 11. See, the thing with numerology, I don't know if 12 is a number or if it's 1 plus 2, which
Oh
would be
yeah,
3.
that's true.
Because when you look up your chart, like your numerology chart,
Mhm.
the way you do it is you add up all the digits in your birthday,
Mhm.
but then you break it down till its simplest number.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that's kind of deep then. So just know we on 12, y'all. Episode 12, Uno Dos. And this week we just gonna be getting into tell them why you mad, son. Like, and I know y'all can relate. Anybody who's on social media, anybody who watches TV, period, they don't even have to be reality TV. Just tell them why you mad. Like, just everything about the oversensitivity of stuff and people.
Everybody's offended by everything.
Yeah, there it is. For sure. So we're just gonna kind of touch on that and yeah.
So, I was actually telling someone about the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who no longer works at my job, but he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And this person is not black. So I was giving him a warning, like, I don't I don't think we say racist things. I know we say racial things.
Right. I don't think we
But
said anything racist.
I mean, but you don't know, everybody's offended.
There it
So
is.
I was just like, I'm just giving you a full warning. So he was like, I mean, y'all be on the podcast saying like fuck white people. And I
Oh.
was like, no, but you may feel that way by some of the things we say. So he then asked me if I watched State of the Culture with Joe Budden, Remy Ma, and them other 2 people because I don't know who they are.
Yeah. The dude and the
And
girl.
basically the real smart dude and a real emotional girl.
Yeah.
So he was asking me like about the M word because I know one of their recent episodes, they were talking about one of them white rappers. And I'm not saying that to be racial. I'm saying that because I literally don't know which one it is. Because all of them look the same. I just found out that who Tekashi 6ix9ine was. I didn't.
Oh.
before that song with Nicki Minaj, he was just one of the white rappers. I didn't know like who he was in the line of them.
Right.
Like he could have been Post Malone, and I'd have been like, sure.
Oh, there
But
he is.
yeah. So, so one of them, I guess they were on video saying the N word, and then N word, nigga,
I
and
was like, look at you being politically
right.
correct.
And so the discussion was like, should white people be able to say N word and blah, 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 blah. And Remy Ma basically was just like, she don't get offended by it.
She
So
don't get offended by white people saying it?
yeah, by as if they say it in that context.
Mm-hmm.
So the dude at my job, he like asked me how I felt, and I was just like, nah, y'all can't say that shit around me.
That
So
shit
then
is dead.
so then his next question was like, do I say? And I was like, hell yeah. And if you listen to the podcast, you're gonna hear me saying nigga, 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 nigga.
You should be like, hell yeah, nigga. What the fuck you mean? He's like, oh my.
So we got into this whole discussion about like why I'm offended.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was just an odd conversation because I didn't really think we still had to have that conversation about like why
They're not allowed to say
non-blacks
it?
are not allowed to say the N-word in 2018.
Right.
But I had to break it down. It was weird. I had to use and I don't want anybody to kill me. I'm using it as an example.
Uh-uh.
But I was saying like, do you go around and do you say fag or faggot all the time? Like,
right. Which is
that
super offensive.
it's super offensive.
Right.
And I was like, I hear gay people say amongst themselves all the time. That don't mean that just because I hang out with them or I can relate or we share some jokes and we kiki that I could be like, what up, fag?
Right.
No.
I'm about to get punched in our mouth.
Right. Like, everything just ain't for everybody.
Right.
So that made me think about everything because I know, nigga is still an offensive word. Fag is still an offensive word, but there are other words that we are learning that are offensive that weren't necessarily offensive. Like I know on a previous episode, I told you like females, people don't like that word.
I swear, it's just, it's like these days, like you really, I don't like, well, be quiet. Like I feel like I grew up in a time where there was no filter for anybody. Like we wasn't pausing people, so like the most crazy pause-worthy stuff was being said as well, and offensive stuff. Or it wasn't offensive to us. It was like, damn, they went in. But like now, it's just like, oh, clutch the pearls. How dare? Like, oh, you're offending everyone. How could you say that snake looks slithery? That's offensive to the snake. Like, it's just like every damn thing is offensive. And I'm just like, I don't know what to say anymore. I just like, oh.
It's such a slippery slope, though, because, like, I know the big thing for me, like, honestly, when people say that certain words and terms are offensive to them, I kind of just be like, okay.
If that's how you feel, then I don't,
because I know how I feel about non-black people saying nigga.
Right.
So like that is like a hard fuck ass no for me. Like you don't get no passes. That shit is dead.
Right.
So if you are saying that you feel some kind of way about something,
you gotta respect it.
I respect it most of the time. I won't even look into it. I'm just like, okay, because that's just how I am.
Right.
The biggest thing for me, and this is gonna sound horrible as a parent, but I am still trying to grasp my mind around bullying culture.
Look, yes.
Because I went to high school in Prince George's County, Maryland. And yes, I had to break niggas in PG County didn't give a fuck about your feelings. They didn't care if your mama died, your daddy died, your shoes was dingy, your shoes was clean.
No fucks.
Like, no fucks. People got joned on every day. Like, it just was what it was. So I definitely see in the news, like, it's way more kids out here committing suicide. So I know that it's a real thing.
Right.
I'm just like, what happened that kids are taking their lives? And I'm not laughing that they're taking their lives. I'm like thinking about the shit that was said in high school. Look. And like, there should have been a lot more people. Okay.
No, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I went to DC public schools, which is about the same. Like, and nobody gave no fucks. You just, like, I think like low key, like in junior high school, you probably could have labeled me and my friends bullies. Like we just would Joan on your ass. Like it was this one girl who wore some damn Coca-Cola jeans and we fry her ass all day. Like every different period we went to, we was like, a bitch, like you still got on them jeans? Like we literally saying like she could have went home and changed them and came
Right.
back. You got them on again? Like what is going on? Like we would just, and it was funny and everybody would laugh, and I'm sure she was just like not feeling it, but like I'm sure like if that was happening today, we probably all would have been suspended and looked at as bullying.
Facts.
The crazy thing is like at my daughter's school this week is actually like standing against bully week or whatever, and they have, it's kind of like a spirit week, but it's like the whole thing is about bullying and different like things that they're teaching and stuff like that. And like I think that, in my opinion, I think the difference is social media, because if you get teased back in the day when we was in school, like
Right.
okay, everybody in your class know it might have made it to everybody in your grade, but 9 times out of 10, like all the seniors ain't gonna find out if you're a freshman that you got teased about X, Y, Z in case it was something super juicy. But 9 times out of 10, it's not leaving your damn school.
Right.
But with
Once you go
social,
home, you home.
yeah, like it's over. And 9 times out of 10, after that week, we ain't thinking about that shit because something else, somebody fell on the stairs and we laughing at them. So something else has happened that we offer you and we on something else now. But now it's like with social media, everybody got cell phones, everybody got cameras, they posting it online. So it's like you do something and you not only getting ridiculed just in your class or just for the week at school, it's like people online, and don't let it go viral so the whole world knows you on the shade room or you on this X, Y, and Z. And it's like, you know, there it's like you're on a bigger stage for humiliation, whereas
Right.
you know back in our day, like okay, you'll be humiliated, but it kind of made you tougher because you're like, yo, I'm about to go back to school on Friday ass because I know that girl don't be getting her hair done, so I'm gonna fry her tomorrow. Like I'm gonna come back with it. But now it's just like, how do you come back against millions of people who where your video is posted or they send it to or they text it to other schools, you know? So I'm thinking
Right.
maybe that's it with the whole like, why are more kids getting into this thing where they can't handle the bullying and they're taking their lives? But I'm needing to toughen up and come snap back. Like, how about
I
that?
I'm
I'll be
just,
getting
it's
on my
such
phone and
a
be like, well, look, your mama ain't got no nipples. Like, something. Like, I just,
everybody's not built that way
no, that's
though.
true. That's
Like
true.
Amara has been bullied.
Mm-hmm. And I
And
think we talked about this before because Kylie isn't
yeah.
confrontational. So, like, I don't
Right.
expect her, if she was bullied, I think she's just going to come to me and tell me what happened. Like, I just don't really see her standing up for herself in that moment.
But that sucks because if
Yeah.
you are like someone who's not confrontational and you're, and you know, some kid, I mean, I don't know how kids are today, but I know when I was growing up, kids were relentless. Like they didn't
Mm-hmm.
forget that shit. It
Yeah.
wasn't like you may have got like a free week where somebody else was getting roasted, but like, nigga, if you laughed a little too hard at them joining on somebody else, they'd be like, nigga, shut your ass up.
You
Then
ain't
you
got
got
no
on them
room to
Coca
talk.
Cola jeans
Them
from last
Coca-Cola
week.
juice from last month,
Yeah,
man.
like you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how it is now, but like imagine getting bullied in like middle school and then you just being bullied throughout middle school, then you go to high school and it's the same thing. Because
Mm.
you typically go, you know, unless you move, you're
In this
going to
area,
this,
you going to the same neighborhood schools.
right.
Yeah.
So like I don't know what I 13 reasons why.
So I literally could not even imagine what it feels like to be bullied. I just, with my personality, not saying that like I was exempt or I was super popular, but I just had the personality that one, either it didn't affect me or like I'm kind of quick with the mouth, so I could say pause. Whew, I would say something that was bad. I would say something slick back. So like, you know, you might fry me, but I'm gonna have something quick to say back. So it just pretty much dimmed down your whole joke or whatever you was trying to come at me for. Or I would just be like, you can't whip me. Either way, like either way, like I was able to some kind of way get out of the situation. Or 9 times out of 10, I was cool with the damn girls that was bullying people. So we was all cool. Not that I was bullying, but like I was like the silly one in school. So like I kind of, you know, I wouldn't want to say friends, but I was cool with a lot of people. So I was never in a situation to be bullied. And I just couldn't even imagine being in a situation where I didn't feel the power to speak up for myself. And like, I know there's a lot of kids out there that do deal with that. And I'm
I just didn't give a fuck. So like I wasn't super cool or nothing like that, but it would just be like if somebody would say something about me, I'd be like, but your best friend is fucking your boyfriend, so I don't
okay.
understand like what's happening. Like
So
you're focusing on the wrong thing.
you've always been a savage, is what you're saying.
I mean, I'm just like, why are you worried about me? Like I have my little core group of friends just like now. I
Right.
just have my like staple friends. That's who, like, my husband was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him went to the same high school. I literally would just talk to him. There was this other girl who y'all roasted on Facebook, who I'm no longer friends with, thanks to y'all.
Oh.
She was older than me.
You're not about to be on this podcast making me seem like I'm a bully. That's what you're not about to do this episode,
I
Shay.
mean, she did deserve it though. But I'm just saying, it was that time that I woke up and I was like, "Oh, why the fuck do I have a million
So many
Facebook
notifications.
What's going on?" I just had like a very small group of friends, and outside of them, I just didn't give a fuck. So if anybody ever had anything to say about me, because it's high school, because you know everybody's business, it would be like, "But you was just sucking dick in the stairwell like 2 weeks ago." Like,
how are you judging right now?
like, are you sure you got checked out? Like, don't
Right.
focus on me.
Right.
So that was me. And I guess that's why I think that's probably why we have a hard time accepting like the bullying culture, because we both just we either weren't bullied or
We
I
just
don't
knew how to handle the situation.
yeah, you know what I mean? So like when I watch 13 Reasons Why, I only saw the first season.
Yeah, me too. I didn't watch the second one.
I'm never gonna watch the second season. I literally was watching the whole episode up until the big thing that happened to her,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of was just like, I mean, this just seems like high school.
Yes,
Like,
that's the crazy thing. So I watched it late. Like, so many people was talking about it online and was talking about this, how sad it was, and like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. So I was just like, yo, I don't want to intentionally watch something that make me cry, but like I legit want to see what all of this is about. Like I'm hearing it's about some girl apparently that whatever. Like because if in case anybody's listening that didn't watch it, I don't want to be
I
spoiling
mean,
it or
y'all like
whatever.
a year late, but
For all the way late, later than me. So you really late. Anybody who watch anything after me, y'all super late because I swear I'll be behind on everything. But I was literally sitting watch episode after episode after episode and was like, all right, so that happened to me. All right, we did that to somebody.
right.
Oh, like I literally was like, this looks like a regular ass high school. And I mean, yeah, some of them are assholes, but like most teenagers are assholes. So I'm just like, yo, like if you don't put up your middle finger and say fuck them and keep it pushing, like I don't know, like yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm desensitized to a lot of stuff. I know some stuff that gets to people doesn't really get to me, and I don't know. Like I didn't get it.
I mean,
And maybe it's the age thing.
that's what I'm saying. So then, so that's just one aspect. I don't want. I feel like this topic is like, let's disclaimer this shit again.
Right.
Sorry if I'm offending y'all. Sorry if we offending y'all.
This is not intended to offend anybody. We're just having open dialogue about offensive culture and telling you why are people so mad about everything. Why is everybody offended about everything? That's pretty much what we're going to be getting into. Not necessarily just bullying, but just everything.
So then when you think about like rap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Pusha T and Drake little recent beef,
right?
When Pusha said something about Drake's friend having, what the fuck does he have?
Was it? It wasn't multiple sclerosis. It was.
I think it was.
It
wasn't. I think it might. I don't even know. But everybody was acting like that. Like he went too far. And I'm like,
bruh, like
niggas was talking about leaving condoms in people's baby seats in the 90s. Like, what are you talking about?
It's so many disrespectful rap lyrics from back in like the 90s. Like, let me just, since we talking about rap, like let's just go there. Like if you're talking about that was disrespectful, then he would have never survived in the late 90s, early 2000s. Look, this man Cameron and Killam said, "I'll rape your child and they won't make it to trial." Yeah. Daggone Biggie and What's Beef. Yeah. I know y'all know that lyric when he was like, my nigga gutter, fucking kidnap kids, fuck them in the ass and throw them over the bridge. Like,
yeah.
Really?
That's why I'm always just like, like, what, if we're going to be offended by like things now, then I feel like we got to cancel a lot of shit
Look,
from like forever. Like, not even just the movies, the jokes in the movies.
look, in Living Color would not be on.
No, nothing that we call, especially in the black community, the shit that we call classics,
Dave Chappelle would,
dog.
would and that is a classic. It would have been a Rizat. Like
So
all the comedy specials, all the stuff. Like, look,
I watch comedies, but I love me a good comedy special from back in the day.
yes,
And
indeed.
but every time I watch them, I mean, we've watched TV together, but I've been like, no, you can't say that.
You like,
You can't say.
oh my god, bitch, it's funny.
But only indoors. Only
Only
indoors.
indoors. But shit, even just saying the word bitch, like I I throw around the word bitch, like, hey bitch, what's good, bitch? Like, and that is kind of or was a derogatory kind of word for women. And I mean, it could be good, like it could be a term of endearment, or it can be like, you acting like a bitch, or
Well, I was going to use that as an example when I got into my whole N-word spiel
Okay, well then
because
we can save it for that
I'm
then.
so tired of y'all and
Yeah.
this N-word shit.
Yeah. I just brought it up because I happen to call you bitch.
Jesus
They wonder why you
Christ.
call you bitch. Why I call
So what happened? I guess I'm lost. Like, when did everyone start being so offended by everything? Because now, like, comedians, I listen to the jokes that comedians say these days, and I'm always like, yep, they're gonna be writing about that shit on Facebook tomorrow. Like, you can think pieces will end somebody's fucking career out here.
For sure.
So, like, what happened? I mean, is it just social media now? People have,
A platform, and
yeah,
are you able, I don't know if it's maybe because you're able to reach the masses, where before it's like you just talking to your homies like, yo, I was so offended that comedian said blah blah blah, or I was watching this show or listening to this song and was so offended. And back then, unless you was getting on somebody's TV radio station or getting in put in a magazine, you wasn't getting your opinion widespread like that. So I don't know if it's because like everybody has such access to so many people in a short period of time, whether it's Twitter or Instagram or what, like you can pretty much post something about somebody that don't even have to be the truth, and like it
right.
can literally like become the hot topic of the daggone day or week or whatever, depending on what it is. So, but I just, maybe people have always been sensitive and we just wasn't privy to it. But it seems like everything, you can't say nothing. Like when we was talking about the different words, like
But no,
what you
because
refer to people and what terms you can use. It's like, what can I say that's not gonna make y'all mad today?
remember when Twitter first came out, like, what, '09? Twitter was popping back in the day, and I
Yes.
said the most reckless shit on Twitter. So much so I deleted my account because y'all bitches are not gonna dig up nothing
Look,
on
they
me
will, that they are good for putting up a tweet from
from
10
10
years
years
ago
ago,
and be
right?
like, oh, so you say you trying to run for office, honey? No. Oh, Chatty Patty's trying to get syndicated. But let's go back to '09
Right.
when you said that my mama ain't had no nipples. Like,
I mean,
and that's
on
exactly how
titty.
you respond. I mean, I seen them. She ain't got no nipples. I mean, what
I
you mean?
mean,
But yeah, it's like
but it wasn't the internet wasn't as sensitive then because like Twitter back then was reckless as fuck. So it
super
really
reckless.
feels like literally overnight,
Mm-hmm.
like people just was just like, no, you can't say that. No, you can't tweet that. No, you can't do this. No, and I'm just like, hold on, wait, what?
Like, wow. Like, I, yeah, I don't
The
get.
first time I heard females was offensive, it was actually at my mother's house for her little annual pre-Thanksgiving drunk fest.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband, then just my boyfriend, he has said females.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady that was there with my mom was like, females? You mean women? And he was just like, oh, my bad, women. And he just kept talking. So then he said it again. And they was just like, oh, we gonna have to do something about this. So he was like, I don't like what's the issue.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
They never broke it down, but he was like the woman he was speaking with was also, she was former Navy and he's Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And like in the military, when you like for instance the bathroom is the head,
Yeah.
so you'll say female head, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I kind of, I understood where he was coming from. He was like, I just got off deployment and everything is kind of like female, blah blah
Male.
blah blah blah.
Right.
So that was the first time I heard that, and at the time I was just like, oh, whatever. But like this past year, like 2017, 2018, nah, females is canceled. They said that word is canceled,
But
boo.
I don't understand. Do they feel
So
like it's exclusive because of the whole transgender thing and you can't say female, you have to say like woman? Or like what are you supposed to say instead of female? Like,
so you're supposed to say woman or women. So the thing is
but what if it's a
so
teenager and she's not a woman yet? What do you say? What do you call that?
a girl.
Oh my God.
So
So
the
woman and girl is fine, but female is not.
No, because anything that has female chromosomes, female DNA is a female. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
Mm.
like Chloe is a female, but
Right.
Chloe's a dog.
Right.
We don't call men males. So I read two things. One was like from a feminist view, and basically it's that um when you use females, you're taking the human characteristics away from women. We don't do that with men. And if you think historically about how everything was like a male dominated world,
Mm-hmm.
the only reason why they started saying female in front of things was like to kind of make sure you understood. Like, for instance, like a lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
you would say a female lawyer as opposed to just a lawyer, or female doctor, or even like I know that actors don't like when you say actors and actresses
Actresses. I
anymore,
remember. I know that changed, and everybody's just actors now.
but that's kind of like the whole thing with like females. Um, I'm just telling you what I
No, I'm
read.
just. I'm
I'm
not.
just
Yeah.
also that it kind of, they're saying like subconsciously it allows men to look at us as just like body parts, basically just like a vagina, as opposed to just like a human being. Um, what was something else that I've read? Uh, really, to be honest, I'm not all that sure. I
All
like
right.
so many things change that I'm not always all the way sure. It's
Right.
just like, okay, people are offended by saying females. Cool. I won't say females. I'll say women. I'll say girls.
Even if
And
we female, we can't say it.
no,
All right.
because if you say females and you're a woman, they're gonna call you a pick me.
A what? What the fuck is that?
A pick me is a woman who displays behavior to appease men. Pick me, like a woman who's just like, I don't understand females that don't watch football. I mean, football is it's entertaining as fuck. Someone may see that and be like, oh, that's pick me behavior. She's only saying that shit to impress men. Or she might genuinely feel like football is just lit as fuck. But I
Yeah.
guess, but the issue is, I guess, her downing other women in the process of doing it.
This seems hyper fucking sensitive. I'm sorry. Like what?
I'm just saying. I've heard people call Remy Ma pick me
Mm.
on State of the Culture. Those comments are just. Have you looked at them?
Have I looked at it?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
comments on YouTube for
Oh no
State
no
of the
no, not the
Culture.
comments that the people make. I thought you meant have I watched the show, but
Oh no,
no.
no, no, no.
Uh.
Like if you go on their page and just look at the comments,
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very, when it comes to Remy Ma, very like total opposite sides of the spectrum. People either really, really love her and her points of view, or they
Mm-hmm.
really just like, get this bitch the fuck out of here.
Oh wow. Yeah, because I normally watch it. I DVR it, so I'll watch it on TV. So
Right.
I haven't watched it to like on the internet to be able to see any like feedback or comments. But now I'm intrigued and I'm gonna go see.
Let me
But
see. Who else would they say has pick me tendencies? I'm trying to think. Who's
Dice, obviously, it seems like I'm fitting in this whole like. I mean, I don't
maybe.
say stuff to appease men, but like a lot of this stuff seems super fucking hypersensitive. Like,
maybe not even just to appease men, but even when, like, when a woman says something, like if a woman gives you advice
Mm-hmm.
on how to keep a man, and it's like the stereotypical bullshit. You know, you gotta cook, you gotta
Oh no, that
clean, you
ain't
gotta
me.
suck dick. I'm just saying,
No, then I don't
pick me.
say. Then I'm not a pick me then.
But hold fast, hold
Hold
tight,
fast.
because I know I've been called a pick me, and I'm like, I don't be giving a fuck about these niggas. So I'm trying to understand how I fit the bill. I mean, honestly, I, girl, I don't know.
It's interesting. Like I'm learning
I
something
wonder
new
what Urban Dictionary says.
about
You,
what the definition of a picking is.
yes,
And are you saying pick me or pig me?
pick me,
Oh, pick me.
pick
That
me.
I swear I've never heard of this. This
Urban.
is my first time even hearing about that. But it seems like everything has to be so, I guess, politically correct, and we have to use certain language and not do certain things so that we can avoid offenses and like not offend people. And it's a whole bunch of feelings. That's what it boils down to, a pot of feelings. And we're like swimming through trying to avoid all the goddamn feelings in the ocean.
I don't mind. Um, oh, this is gonna make me. I guess maybe it's gonna make me sound like a hypocrite. I don't mind when people are offended as long as they're consistent with it. For instance, another thing that came out recently, uh, again on State of the Culture,
Mm-hmm.
Vic Mensa. Don't know who that guy is.
I see him on Wild 'N Out, I think.
Don't watch that show. So,
Wow.
but he made a comment about that one rapper that died. That
Takashi,
X
not Takashi,
no
say
X
XX.
X X
Yeah,
Tentacion Tentacion.
yeah, I can't even pronounce it.
So I guess he was an abusive person when he was alive, and so Vic Mensa decided to make a public fucking service announcement about not glorifying rappers that are abusive, which
Went whole time.
which I'm not even opposed to. It's just like, but my only thing is just like it's mad rappers and singers and
But
athletes
wasn't
who.
he also accused of being abusive?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. He even
Wow.
admitted it himself.
Yeah, that's why I was
That
like,
wasn't
whole
even the
time.
point I was going. The point I was making was don't call it out on him if it's mad niggas that's alive
Right, that's
that's
doing
doing
it.
the shit.
Right, for sure.
So that's my only thing when it comes to like
Be
this.
consistent with your shit.
Yeah, it's just be consistent. Like nobody that's non-black can say nigga around me.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
very
happening.
strict with that.
It's not
Like
happening.
that's just not happening.
Right.
Um. So I'm like the females thing.
Mm-hmm. That still bothers me. I don't know why.
Why?
It's just, it's just annoying. Like I just like with that one, and I'm not just talking about being offensive in general. Like I kind of, I don't think I would like sit up here and debate somebody if they was like, Dice, like that's offensive that you just called me female. I just like, all right, bitch, whatever. Like I was just like, oh, I guess bitch would be offensive too. Yeah. Anyway, take a pick. But I would just be like, oh, all right, well, whatever. But like the more I sit and stew about it, I'm just like, I don't. Maybe I just don't understand it. But I'm not saying just because I don't understand it makes it wrong or makes it right. I don't get it. Like I don't get
So
how
that's
it's just a feeling. Like, and honestly, a that's I think the whole thing about being this whole offensive culture or whatever, it's like all feelings. So whenever I wake up in the morning and be like, I don't like that, I'm offended. Like literally I can pull anything out my fucking bag and be like, you know what, fat asses offend me, and if I see a fat ass, I'm offended, and you just have to respect me. Like, I mean, I'm being
that
extra,
was
but
a
it's like
thing.
any daggone thing. You can wake up in the morning and it's like whatever you feel. Like I don't know.
So, like, have you heard that you guys is offensive? Like
Come
when
on,
you
bro.
no for real, like when you say you guys and there's a group of people, they're not all guys.
So we gonna have to scratch the Goonies when he was like, "Hey, you guys." We can't.
Yeah.
All of that we scratching everything.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Because nobody does that for the thing is, and I kind of get it. I just don't know if I care as much
Right.
because I'm not like, I don't
A
know.
super feminist.
Yeah, but if there was a group of dudes, you wouldn't be like, all right, girls, let's do X, Y, and Z. Like if you did that, the all the dudes would probably look at you like you were crazy. But we're so indoctrinated into thinking that saying stuff like "Hey guys" or females is acceptable. Not only that, but a lot of times I will say when men are using the, this is my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
when men use the term females, it's usually not positive.
I mean, yeah, I think in our generation, especially around here, like they about to talk some shit like these
These
females.
females,
It's like
right?
it's a
It's
nice
like
way of saying
bitch.
bitch. Right, 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 for
And so
sure.
that's what some of the articles have been saying, like female is the new bitch. It's like the politically correct way of calling someone a bitch. So that brings me to, and I keep bringing up the N word. So I was reading a Twitter thread, which I am going to retweet on the Chatty Pattys page, the Chatty Pattys on Twitter, y'all at the Chatty Pattys. Anywho,
Follow us.
um, so basically she broke down language, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean, and how words matter
Uh-huh.
and the context that you use things as well as the social setting in which you use things matter. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the examples she used was like if there were two homeless people on the street and they were joking amongst one another and one of them was like, oh, you fucking hobo, and they laughed, that would be acceptable. But if
Mm-hmm.
I walked up to them and I had on like a business suit looking like I'm going to work and was just like, here, hobos, and threw some change at them, that would be offensive.
Right.
So the way she was using these examples to basically break down
It depends on how
why,
you use them and your
and
intent behind using them.
and who you are when you're using them
Mm-hmm.
because of the stigma behind the words. So then that made me think about the word females. And I'm just like, so is females only offensive when males use it?
Right, because I
Or,
don't understand why us using female would be offensive.
but from what I gather, females is offensive just for everyone because it's diminishing the human aspect of us. We are not females, we are women. Listen, that's what Google said.
It's the same to me.
Okay, well, you go out here and you start saying female, and they're going to label you something. If not a pick me, I don't know. You know, they have something new. I'm sure. I don't know. I really,
This is all new to me. Like I'm like I'm soaking it all in, but it's interesting.
when I'm doing like my little briefings at work, I
Hmm.
make like I do not say you guys anymore. I like make an effort not to say it.
I say you guys all the time at work.
I'm just letting you know that somebody is probably like,
Dog, my team is not hypersensitive though. Like,
you don't know.
fight me. Like,
I mean, they probably, if they heard this podcast, they'd probably be like, who knew? Who knew? I'm just saying, you never know what people are feeling when they go, I don't know. I'm just letting you know the
yeah,
word on the street is females is canceled. We
it's a whole
women's.
bunch of canceledness. Like everything is canceled
I
because
mean,
everyone's hypersensitive and everyone's mad about something. Like everything is offensive.
everything is canceled. Like, um, I mean, this is gonna sound crazy, but y'all cancel Uncut because y'all's mad at Nelly for swiping that credit card through that girl booty, and that girl didn't care. And now I don't get to watch none of the hood videos. I
Hmm.
gotta go on YouTube, and that's when BET used to be lit. Now look at
Hmm.
BET. What they be
Stale,
playing, y'all?
stale,
Medea every day, all day.
stale.
This is what happens when you too goddamn offended. I don't get
Right.
no midnight. And see, that's the
If
thing,
you're offended,
y'all.
turn it off.
Balance, because they had Midnight Love, they had that Caribbean show, they had,
Right.
and then they had Uncut. What was wrong with that?
Just turn it off. If you don't like it and it offends you, turn it off, click off the page, or keep scrolling. Like people are so invested. If you don't like it, don't look at it because there's somebody out there that like it. How about that?
Okay, so
Stop out
what?
here reporting everybody's page. Stop reporting posts on social media that you don't like and it's offensive. Keep scrolling or unfollow,
So you're
block.
saying that, and I feel like you're saying that because you're thinking about females, because you really like that word.
It's not that I really like it. I don't understand how females is different from women. I really don't. It's a classifier on somebody that has a vagina, a female or a woman, versus a male or a man has a penis.
But you
And I'm
don't
taking,
call
but
men male.
I'm taking out the whole, but you, depending on the situation, I might. Like
When
this male DNA right here, or this male blah blah. You can interchange it with male,
we
man,
have
all of that.
never said, "Oh yeah, I had a
I'm
male
not saying me
doctor."
specifically because my slang and how I talk is different, but men and males are used just like female and woman are used, or girl or whatever. Like, I don't know, it's just different designators for different sexes. I just don't understand. My whole thing was I thought it was going to be behind the whole, maybe it was exclusive to transgender, but that's not even the argument here, so I really don't get it.
Well, I'm not saying that that's not. That might be. I'm not sure.
I
I'm
would
saying,
understand it more if it was like, because of transgender, and just because, biologically you might not be have all the parts to classify you as a female, they still identify as a woman, so that's more politically correct. I can understand that more than just saying, you just
I'm
shouldn't say this shit.
almost 100% positive that that's also an argument for the use of that word. I'm just saying that from what I
And if
heard
that's
from
the
people
case,
and what I Googled, it was because, for one, we only use female when we're describing things. We never describe things as male. And I know in my personal experience, unless someone asks specifically, if someone, like if I'm talking about a doctor, unless someone asks, was it a male or female doctor, that's when they'll say, oh, it was a dude or whatever, whatever. But typically when you're describing certain things like professions, for example, you'll make sure to specify that this was a female doctor, this was a female judge, or these
I'll say
females be
male because I'll be
tripping.
like, I'm not getting a male gynecologist. Like, I will say male real quick.
Do you say male teacher? Well, no, not a teacher's not a good
No, I'm
example,
gonna say no.
because
But
a
I don't
lot.
say female teacher either.
I know, because most teachers are women, so we just automatically, like, there are certain, like there's that one like little scenario when they're talking about the doctor, and at the end of it, it's like, well, who said the doctor was the dad? The doctor's actually the mom, but blah, because social society just automatically. So I'm just letting you know what the argument is.
No, I
Argument
get
is
it. I get it.
we,
I don't have a certain passion for that word. I just don't get it.
but what if it's a sub? That's the ticker. What if it's just like so ingrained in you that you just never thought about it? I think you're going to think about it now.
Yeah, I am. Because I'm
And
thinking
you,
about it now. I'm stewing over it.
I'm just saying. Now, offended, I'm just not offended. That's me personally. I'm not offended by the use of female. Um,
But then
even when dudes say it.
I also have to take a step back to be politically correct. I'm not offended about a lot of stuff. So I also personality here. Like, there are some people that are a little hypersensitive, so they may be offended. They may be offended by more stuff, but I'm not offended by a lot of stuff.
But are offended about something? So when I know
Some things.
when I personally, when somebody says, like, for instance, the whole females thing, I don't get it still to this day. I just tie everything into nigga. Like, oh, well, they don't like being called females. I don't like being called niggas. So
I don't know if I can equate the two just because of the history. I'm sorry. But
but
yeah.
there's history in women inequality.
And female is showing inequality. I don't know. Look,
It
I love you, and we just gonna
is.
have to agree to disagree.
But
Like,
it is, though, when you think about how we weren't able to have certain jobs
no, I
as women,
completely
we weren't able
understand
to
that.
vote and all that other good stuff.
No,
So
I
when
understand women's rights, but I have no clue with how that translates into referring to a woman as a female is offensive. I don't understand how that ties into women's rights. Like, I really
well,
don't.
do your Googles. I got a little article if you want me to you
Go ahead and send it out there. Listeners, please weigh in and let us know how y'all feeling on this. One side or the other. Please comment. Like, am I tripping and am I super desensitized that I'm just being a jerk right now? Or, like, are people just, like, too caught up in their feelings? Like, please let me know. Comment.
they about to be like, we trash, because me, I'm just like, I don't get bullying, y'all. And then you just like, y'all females. And then
I
and
mean,
we
I'm
just
just saying
trash.
these are just our personal experience, and we gave you the goddamn disclaimer in the beginning. Like, We just out here putting out this information and giving you our opinions. What we saying is not law. We are Chatty Pattys and we up here chatting. Patty and Patty is chatting right now. So these are just our opinions. That's it. Don't come coming for us. I feel like we say that all the time. Don't come for us. We are just up here having dialogue, trying to have you think about different things, different ways. Because please know, my brain is working right now because it's stuff that's been brought up that I never thought about and I didn't even know. So yeah, I don't know it all and I don't claim to know it all, but I just how everybody else has their feelings, I have my feelings about stuff too, and I don't know. It's a lot of things that don't offend me that may offend the average person, and maybe it's just because I don't give a fuck, but I don't know.
They also, other words like not just female, but like bossy
That's offensive too.
when you're describing a female,
So
a
we got to
woman,
cancel Khalees song. God damn it.
because basically you don't, when a woman is assertive, she gets labeled bossy, she gets labeled mean. Black women, we get labeled as having an attitude, but men are far more assertive. Not won't say far more assertive. Men can be assertive unapologetically. That's the argument. I don't think that the word is canceled. I just think that, well, no, the fucking word's canceled. I take that back. It's fucking canceled when you're describing a woman, because there's a negative connotation with it, because you don't call men bossy. Men are just men. Boys will be boys. But there is.
Are you finding this on like
I am
feminism.com?
looking at time.com. They had an article called Why We Need to Reclaim the World Female, and they
Oh my
discuss the
god.
word bossy. They talk about, um, in 1965, the Chicago Tribune ran a story titled The Fall of Female," documenting the crimes of the word going as far back as the 1850s. I'm, I, I did my Googles. I'm
No, I'm
saying.
not. I'm not saying that this is not real. I yeah.
It ties into misogyny. I'm just saying.
That's just me agreeing to be quiet because I'm sure I'm offending the whole world on this podcast right now. I'm just
Da, 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 da. Yeah,
what you looking up? I was say I know that Lord song. What you looking up?
I'm just saying. I'm looking at another one. Very smart is that what they're called? Yeah, very smart brothers. That's a little pop. I know I see them on Facebook a lot. People will tweet. Well, it's not retweet on Facebook. Repost. There we go.
Mhm.
Repost some of their articles or whatever. And this was that year that Cam Newton had made that comment and was just like, I'm surprised a female journalist knows that much about football. And that was, he got like, you don't remember when he got all that backlash for
Yeah,
saying
he was
that?
wilding though. Like
But why was he wilding?
I'm surprised that a female journalist would know that much about football. Wasn't she a sports journalist?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't she? It's her job.
But that was part of the argument, Candace.
Like I don't
Oh,
know, but that's
edit.
just no, but that's different as saying like a woman general, like, oh, as a woman, like I'm surprised you know that much about football. Like that statement, okay, but she's a sports journalist, so that's just idiotic. Like, yes, she's gonna know about sports because she's a fucking sports journalist. Like, I don't know. So yeah, he deserved that backlash because that didn't make any fucking sense.
But that's what we use for everything.
I guess I'm just not buying into it.
Okay. So, what are some other things that everybody's offended by that we may not get?
Bitch.
I, uh, everybody doesn't like that word.
I know.
Like I have friends who you can't even use it like the way we use it with one another. Like, no, don't call me a bitch. That ain't no term of endearment. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Feelings, whatever you feel like you don't like. These days, you have the right to say, I feel like I'm being disrespected. Please don't
Do
call
you
me
mind?
that.
But do you let men call you a bitch?
I mean, am I acting like one? Because I can.
So if you were acting like one, could B-Dub be like, you acting like a bitch?
I'd be like, I'm not saying it on the podcast.
Oh.
Oh, it's about to be so rude. But I'll probably have a comeback. But I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I mean, you can call me
Okay.
one. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that there won't be consequences, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. So yeah, you can say it if you want to, but when you get punched in your nose, don't say nothing. Or when I come back and say something else, then don't get upset. But I mean, you are my friend in real life, so you know that I act like a bitch sometimes. So if someone was to call me a bitch, then I would be like, I probably was. What did I do? What did I say? I probably was.
I just don't think that in the heat of the moment you would be that rational. Like
No, I'm
maybe.
not saying that I would be calm. Like, I'm not saying that at all. That's what I'm saying. Like, I will probably say something back to your ass, and I will probably hit you. But I mean, yeah,
So that means you would be offended.
no,
Yeah.
I will just offend you back. If that's what we use in the word offended for, like, just like the whole bullying thing. Like, I don't see that as an offensive thing. Like, you just coming for me and I'm coming for you. I don't. I don't know. Like, yeah. Depending on how it's used, like if you just sitting to me and was like, dog, you definitely was acting like a bitch yesterday, I would probably be like, oh, what'd I do? What'd I say? But like if we're in the heat of an argument and I'm angry and you're just like, you fucking bitch, like then I'm probably gonna lash out at you because of the scenario that we're in. Like, because regardless, you could have been like, you fucking woman. I'm probably like, no, fuck you, you fucking man. Like, we're arguing. Like, so it probably wouldn't even matter what you said. I'm fucking gonna argue back with you. So,
You fucking man.
oh, is that offensive? Can I say man? Shit.
Ma'am.
I'm about to just, nah, I don't, yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'm a hypocrite. I mean, fuck it. I don't care. I say bitch all the time, but like, if we're not friends, you can't call me a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's male or female. And if you a dude, you can't call me a bitch because, like, why?
I just feel like it depends on like how it's being used. Like, you like, bitch. Like, or like this bitch over here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends. But like, if you in my face, you're like, bitch, then whoa. You
So
coming aggressive. So it just depends on how it's said. Like, what is the meaning and the like what is your meaning behind it and your intent in using the word is depending upon how I'm going to react, if that makes sense.
do your male friends call? Do they ever say that? Because even I'm thinking,
They
even
probably don't say it out loud, but I'm sure they think it.
that, but we think shit all the time. I can't monitor. I can't police somebody's thoughts. What I'm saying is, if I'm out with a group of friends, a group of women, and they're like, bitch, that's fine. But if I'm out with a group of dudes, they ain't gonna be like this bitch here. They're gonna be like this nigga. Like,
But I also think it depends on where you from and how your slang is, because dudes, they might use it around other dudes, but a lot of times they don't use it when they're talking to their female friends. Kind of like
women
how
friends.
on how on like Black Ink, like Ted always say bitches. Like he could be talking about somebody he banged with, and he be like, bitches think they're gonna do this bitch, blah blah. I just think it depends on where you from and your like what how is your slang? Because I don't like.
You don't think there's think pieces out here about Ted?
I'm
Because all he do
sure.
is stick his dick in I was about to say
So
bitches.
it's think pieces about everything. It's probably think pieces of why people put ketchup on their hot dogs. Like, I just everybody that has an opinion about everything.
I don't know. I'm just saying I am a hypocrite because there are things that I definitely feel like certain people have the license to say or do that other people do not, and bitch is
I
one
mean,
of them.
I feel like that way about nigga.
If a dude is describing if a dude is saying like you were saying Ted be talking about how he want to fuck a bunch of bitches, I probably wouldn't like care. But if a man is having a conversation about women in a derogatory like kind of context and then will refer to as bitches, then I probably would be like, hold up, the fuck you mean bitches? Like, I don't know, I guess it just
Depends on how it's used in one context.
But then other people will argue, like, well, if you got to do all that defending and if it's different settings and da 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 da, then maybe you just shouldn't say it at all.
And I would say maybe you should mind your business.
Okay. Well, then they would say, then you can't get offended if you use the word bitch all the time if somebody uses it around you or towards women, da 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 da, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, that word I really don't care too much about, but like, it's consequences to everything. Like, you could call somebody could be like, "Look, I'm offended. Don't call me that." Just like how I'm saying, like, I don't get the whole female thing, and I could be like, "Well, I don't get it. Female, 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 female," and then somebody punched me on my face. Well, that's the consequence. Somebody said they was offended, Dice, and you kept on going in, so you just got jabbed in your face. So I mean, yeah, people have feelings, and if you decide to not give a fuck about what those opinions are, then you can catch them consequences. That's how I feel.
Okay. So then we got to keep that same energy with nigga.
Right. For sure.
No, no, we're
For
not.
sure, because if there's plenty of white people out here that's just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say it, nigga, 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 and you gonna catch the consequence for saying these words and saying something that I feel is discriminating or I feel offended, and you catch these nigga, nigga hands. Like, yeah,
Oh well, yeah, that's same energy.
yeah.
Um. So the person who I was talking about at my job,
Mm-hmm,
he said we should talk about just the N word and we
mm-hmm.
should have somebody on with opposing views, I guess. And I wanted to be like, opposing views on what?
But
Like,
somebody that felt like it's okay to say the N
I,
word.
I guess, but
Why do I keep saying the N word like I don't say it?
I know.
Opposing views like that, I guess like a non-black person, or they talking about a black person that feel like we shouldn't say it, or a white person that was like, I feel like I should say nigga.
I didn't get clarity because in my mind I didn't give a fuck either way. It wasn't happening. Like I don't like if you are black and you don't like that other black people use the word nigga, and I know that I won't use it around you. I don't have a problem with you feeling that way. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like if a black person says they just don't like the word all the way around, I
Then it's
fucking get it.
understandable.
It's so much
Respected,
history
right?
that
For
goes
sure.
with the word. I can definitely see why a black person would just be like, no,
I'm
that
not
word is
feeling that.
I'm not
Right.
feeling it from
That word's
anybody.
canceled. Right.
But I don't want to talk to nobody black that thinks it's okay to let their friends, their buddies get a pass on the word.
No.
And ain't nobody that's not black. There's nothing they could tell me
No.
about why it's okay for them to use it.
No.
Because I mean, there freedom of speech. I need people to understand what that really means. Freedom of speech doesn't mean that you can anybody can say anything out of their fucking mouth. I can
Right.
just make a fucking sound right now. It doesn't even have to be words. That's not what the fuck freedom of speech means when they talk about it in that context. People are stupid. Freedom of speech for America, for the United States of America, basically means that you can say things about the government without fear of getting your dumb ass locked up. In other countries, when you say things about like Donald
Yeah.
Trump is fucking stupid as fuck. If
You
y'all was to
can't.
say that on a podcast, I could
You
end up
can't
in
speak
jail.
against the gun.
I could
Right.
end up dead.
Right.
That's really what freedom of speech means.
Right.
So you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. That's never been the issue. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say in those countries. The issue is the consequences that come from it.
Right.
So while legally you can say nigger, in the hood, you'll get your ass beat.
For sure.
I mean,
That's
and
what I
that's
was
just the
saying.
bottom line.
That
Like,
you basically agree with me. Basically, people can have their opinions, but if you go against and you say whatever it is somebody is offended to, there are consequences. Like you can catch hands, you can get shot. It's a lot of things that can happen. So yes, it's some things that I don't understand. Maybe I'll have an epiphany and I'll get it one day. Maybe I'll do some research and understand it. Maybe not. But if I was to offend somebody and I want to be disrespectful and continue to say it after it has already been put out that I don't like that you say that word, and then I get punched, you can't be like, well, I don't understand why that happened. Bitch, you know why that happened. Because you already know that this person already said that they was offended by that. Same thing with nigga. First of all, it shouldn't even be no explanation. But if y'all do need an explanation, we can give you a real quick history lesson before you catch these hands on why you shouldn't say the word.
I don't even feel that's why when we were discussing our topic for the week, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to just talk about the N word because, like, if your ass is like in grade school, you know what the fuck, you know what's up, you know the history behind the nigga. Like,
Right.
come on, son.
For
I
sure.
don't give a fuck if you listen to nothing but Tupac day in and day out. Don't say that shit around me. And that's the
Right.
thing. I'm not fucking stupid. Non-blacks are like the number one consumer of hip hop, and hip hop
You know
says
they
nigga all the time.
in the car and in their bedroom
Yes,
saying every lyric.
for
So please.
sure. And I get your fucking life. Go off, sis. But in my presence, it's just not fucking happening. I feel like if you say it in front of me, you obviously don't give a fuck about you or me.
Right.
Mostly you.
Right.
Cause
You about to get hurt.
in the right setting, in the right setting.
Right.
Um, my only issue with the word is like, fam, Wikipedia got a list of fucking racial slurs for every motherfucking ethnic group. And nigga is the one that y'all want so fucking badly. And I don't understand. Why do y'all not want any other fucking racial slur? Why is nigga the one? I don't understand. The
Right.
one, y'all, it's like y'all want to act like things like slavery didn't happen,
Mm-hmm.
but then y'all want to be able to use nigga. I don't understand how you can even like try to use a word and not even give a fuck about the history that goes behind it. I don't.
Right.
I'm literally looking at Wikipedia right now, and you got camel jockey, sand nigger, Eskimo pie, spick, wetback, greaser.
Wait a minute. Wetback was for black people?
No, I'm just going
Oh.
through a list of everything.
Oh, okay. For different.
For
Okay. All
everything.
right.
You got a gringo, honky, peckerwood, whitey, wog, redskin.
Oh, interesting.
No, yeah.
HTTR to y'all. Huh?
Y'all just want Miss Lee say y'all really feeling yourself. Mm. I don't get it though. Like, what are we doing? And what really bothers me is like, as many times as like non-black people have to be checked for saying nigga, I don't see that many black people running around saying like crack ass cracker. The only people I know that really say that all the time is like Chris Rock and Charlamagne the God.
Yeah.
That like on a consistent basis are just like crack ass cracker.
Right.
Otherwise, like I know, in like for instance in our group setting, like when does anybody say that?
Not never.
Like ever for what?
Right. Not never.
I came up with a code word for white people in case I wanted
Yeah.
to say something like
Yeah.
why they were around, which
Yeah.
I heard that y'all do to us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Smart.
yeah.
Smart.
That's where I got it from.
Right.
Learned behavior.
Right.
Slavery still affecting us years later. I just don't understand the fascination with that word. Like, there's so many other ethnic groups that you could use racial slurs towards. Just
Right.
leave us alone.
Right. You've done enough.
Just leave us alone, please. And really, the word originally just means black, as in
Look,
the color.
the color.
That's
They
it.
intentionally took that word to be offensive. Like literally. Like it wasn't a like literally. You took that word, mispronounced it, and pretty much used it intentionally to degrade black people.
I
But
just literally got called a nigger more times in the 2.5 years I lived in California, where I just moved away from there last year. My whole life.
I've never been in a
Mm.
situation where I've been called a nigger by a non-black person. Never in my life, and I thank God
The
because
most
I don't know how I would react. Like I really don't. I would probably like lose my shit.
I've been called a nigger a lot, and I feel like the one time that I didn't respond like violently, it was because I was so like
You was shocked.
because it was in Ridgecrest
Mm-hmm.
at the little bar. This white dude, he was super drunk. He came up to me. He called me beautiful. So I'm like, oh, thanks. He's drunk, so he's steady. He's still talking. So I'm just like, oh, I guess I'm stuck with the drunk nigga. Here we go. My friends like walk away like this bitch got to learn to shake and move. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So at some point in the conversation, I don't even know what the hell we were talking about. He tells me that he can't help. He can't help that he's old and washed, just like I can't help that I'm a nigger. And I
Okay.
said, I said, huh? And he repeated it. And he
Oh.
said it so matter of factly, like, like the sky's blue. You're a nigger. I mean, what's good?
He probably ain't see no problem with it. He probably is so ingrained in him and all his family that that's just what they say on a regular.
But not just him. Like when I got upset, everybody just kind of like, even the black people I was with was kind of just like, I mean, like you just got to know who to talk to at this bar. Like you can't just talk to
That
everybody.
must just be the culture out there. They just know like the white people in this area are racist as hell, and like it's just I guess like going in the deep south and like dealing with that. Like I think it's different up here because I think the racism comes out in a different way. Like I think we're a little bit more aggressive of a breed of black people up here. So they're
I've been
not.
called a nigga up there too.
I've never heard anybody been called nigga up here.
I mean, they were driving in a car. I was walking home, but I was in the eighth grade. I was getting off the school bus, and somebody just like in a car just called me a nigga. It was actually the first time I got called a nigga, and I was just
Wow.
like, "The fuck!" I'm just driving home, and I actually went home and I cried. I called my dad, and I was just
Aww.
like, "No," because I was really upset. My mom moved me out there, and I was just like, "She got me out here with all these non-black people, and
Oh
now they
wow.
calling me niggers."
Right.
She should have kept me with the niggers.
That's crazy. Like I don't, and I don't know if
And not
maybe
you. G-A-R
I
is
went
the
to
nigga
all
family.
black schools, so maybe not all black, predominantly black. Like I might as well say all black because it probably is like one or two
That's
white
how
people
it
in the
was
whole
in
school.
PG.
But like I don't know. Like what's interesting is the area that both of our kids go to school in.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that is taking place in their schools now. I know what your daughter went through when she was out there, but I wonder if over here because like there's my daughter is in a more mixed cultural school than what I grew up in. So I wonder, probably not at this age, but a little older, if like,
I
because you
think,
learn what you learn
I
about
don't think
from who you're
so.
around.
I think it's more of a mixed culture, so that's not really like an issue. And I think honestly, I know like your daughter is a little older than mine, but like my daughter doesn't like to talk about anything racial. Anytime you bring up anything race related, she's automatically like, "All right, here you go." Like
Mm.
she's like, "Why do y'all have to make everything about race?" And it's just like, my
Kids, because I
bad,
probably at that age, like they're not even thinking about it. Like my
right? Which
daughter
is
just
good.
started talk like literally probably like a year ago talking about skin color and was like, well, yeah, because she's like pink and I'm brown. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah. I kept
Yeah.
it cute and was like, oh okay. I'm not because I'm not going. I just think she's too young for that right now. But if a situation comes, then we can kind of delve deep into it depending on if something happens. But like I feel like let her keep her innocence. I'm not going to take her with this harsh world yet.
So, like I was saying earlier, I think we kind of agree on like the N word, using that being offensive.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you should just, whenever somebody says something that's offensive, I think you should just be like, think about the word nigger.
I'm just gonna bite my tongue and be like, "Oh, all right." But
No.
everybody who knows me know it, because everybody who knows me know what that means. But like,
So listen, I had to check JT a couple years ago because we were talking about there was some case where, or was it a case or was it just a story? Basically, there was something that came out where certain churches didn't want to wed same sex couples.
mm.
And JT was just like, well, I mean, it's I feel them, like if they feel like they're against it and they don't want to do it, then I don't see a problem with that. Like you can't force people to marry people if they don't believe in that. And so I was like, you sound ignorant as fuck, right? He's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't, I'm telling you. Like he was really trying to make an argument for it, and I was just like, so like maybe 50 or 60 years ago, however the fucking fuck long ago it was, people probably was using that same argument for interracial marriages, right?
Right, right.
So then when I broke it down like that, he's just like, oh, you're right. Like, yes, my dude. Like, just because no lie, I've been trying to get JT doesn't think that he's homophobic. but I think that he is.
Mm.
Like, not in, I do, because of things like that conversation, or like, you
Or
know,
maybe it's just not homophobic. Maybe it's just ignorance. Like, because after you explained it to him, he understood. So it's not like he was just like, that shit still don't matter. But like, maybe it's just ignorance and you just have to school him.
I mean, maybe, but I said what I said. No, I mean, I feel like he was ignorant. I feel like there's a thin line between ignorance and any other label, being ignorant and being sexist, being ignorant and being homophobic. But I understand what you're saying. Like, maybe he's not homophobic, maybe he's just ignorant. But I mean, it's kind of like 2018. Like, I just feel like
Yeah.
some of these things you
Like
just,
you should know.
that's how I feel. The same way I feel about like the use of nigga. Like, you could argue with me till your face is fucking blue. You know what it is. You know the history behind it. So I kind of
Right.
felt the same way when it came to same sex marriages. Like, same sex marriages last longer than than heterosexual marriages. The fuck.
Okay.
Like, what if y'all want to get married? Have fun.
Right.
I don't know. I my husband's a work in progress when it comes to that. But I know with him, I have to kind of like, when I'm talking about like certain topics that I'm really passionate about, I kind of have to like bring it home. And I know like race is a big thing for him. So if I could find a way to relate it to like race, then he'll
Mm.
be like, oh, I
Ah.
get it. Or like when I was talking to my coworker and I was saying, using the whole like, would you go around and be like, what up, fag?
Right. And he understood.
Right. So that's the same thing with nigga. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Right.
no. So I mean, I feel like maybe that's how you should look at life
Okay. Look at life and compare it to nigga. Okay.
and race and things
Oh,
that you care about. So then you'll care about the things you don't care about.
okay.
No?
Yeah, well, I hear you.
Okay. Well, if you don't have anything else to say about how everybody's mad at everything, I think it's a good time to wrap this
To
up.
hit the wrap it up button before we get some hate mail.
These bitches don't give a fuck about nothing.
I do. I really do. Like I swear, I don't. Yeah, we gonna wrap it up. I care though. I care. I do. I really do.
I'm about to go watch Dave Chappelle after this. I'm
I
gonna go
know,
watch
right?
the nigga episode. That episode gives me so much life. Ooh, or the Boondocks. I love that show.
Oh
They have an
yeah.
episode where they did like a little play on a teacher who was like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say nigger. I
I said
said nigga.
nigga. I did.
We can only laugh at that though. Y'all can, non-black, y'all can only
Y'all better
chuckle
not
on
be
the
chuckling
inside.
out there. Like, we hear your car chuckling to this part.
They about to turn on that fucking Lil Dicky song right now and be like, what up, my nigga? What up, my nigga? What's up, my nigga? Nigga, nigga, nigga. Fuck out of here, Dice and Shay. Fuck y'all.
Who's gonna check me in my car?
Looking through people's windows now, like, it looks like he's mouthing nigga, babe.
We're gonna be on nigga patrol.
Okay. And scene.
And I'm spit. All right.
Tea time. Red Table Talk is back.
Yes. And they just had an episode with Willard on it.
Yeah, she needed to cut it out.
Call him by that man by his whole government name.
Yes.
But Will Smith was on there and they were discussing basically their relationship. And it's a two-part. So just the first part was released this week. And it was actually really good. I can't wait until the next part. The next part is going to be super juicy because they didn't get into details. Well, they got into details, but not like the juicy stuff that I really wanted to hear.
Right.
But yeah, it was some good little takeaways that I didn't know about that they kind of touched on. What did you think?
Okay. So first thing, because y'all know me, Jada Pinkett Smith is a Virgo and Willard is a Libra, which is me and my husband.
Mm.
So I actually was like, oh, let's see, because they've been married for like 21 years, and I'm just trying to get some goddamn advice because y'all know we was on the brink, honey. So I went into it obviously with that on my mind, like, okay, I'm gonna get some advice because they, we're not the most compatible signs when put together. So let's see how they've been lasting.
Oh, it's time.
Yeah, I love the transparency.
Mm-hmm.
I like you said, the next episode looks like it's going to be juicy.
Yes.
The key thing, the one of the things that stuck out for me, and I was actually watching it with my daughter, and my daughter was like at some parts looking at me going, So Will was talking about how he grew up in an abusive household, and my husband grew up in a different setting.
Right.
I don't want to say a different setting than me.
Mm-hmm.
So I am very outspoken. I get pissed. I say whatever the fuck out of my mouth, especially when I'm upset. And
I know what you're talking about.
During our first marriage, that was a huge issue because he is a words of affirmation kind of guy, and I could tear your ass apart with these words. So when I was watching that part of the episode where they were talking about how they had to basically like learn how to communicate with one another and how they went 20 years without even cursing
or
at one
raising
another,
their voices,
or
girl.
raising their voice. That's the part where Mom was like,
But they also admitted that they took communication classes together, though.
Well, then sign us up, because that's why I was watching it, because I'm like, I know, I like, my mouth is horrible, like not horrible in that way. Okay,
pause it.
No, when I'm upset, I will literally say the first thing that comes to mind. In our new marriage, we haven't really gotten an argument, so I don't know if it's the same. I know that I am more aware though of when things are starting to piss me off. So I'll just be like, I need a moment. And he in the past would not let me have that moment. And so because we go to therapy now, the therapist has basically been telling him what I've been telling his ass, which is, if I tell your ass I need a moment, you better give me a moment.
Right. Just like how when Willa and Jada was saying, like, sometimes you just got to step away from it. Like, if you're arguing about why the hell the dishes weren't done, and you're like, you know what, I see this getting heated. Let me take a moment to calm down, take the emotions out of it so that we can talk about the actual issue. But like they were saying, you start arguing about the dishes, and then you so heated that you yelling at people. So now you mad that the person was yelling. Then you might call me a nigga. You might call me a bitch. You might call me a female. Whatever,
now
that's
you
offensive.
forgot what you was originally even arguing about.
Right. And you up here mad about 5 other things than just washing the dishes. So sometimes you got to allow the person, and you also have to know your mate. Like, I'm the same way. Like, give me my space when I'm upset. Don't crowd me and force me to talk to you to work no stuff out, because you're going to hear some stuff that you don't want to hear, and I'm probably going to say some stuff that I honestly don't mean, but I'm upset. So let me get my space. Let me get my time. Eventually I'll calm down and we can talk like adults. And so when they said that, I was like, you know what? It makes sense. But going 20 years without ever cussing and raising their voices, I guess she was not feeling that newspaper to the head. She was like, nah.
Yeah. On the other hand, though, they're saying all this happened, but then, like, it looks like, well, even towards the end of this episode, she even said, like, she was very, very unhappy. Not to say that if she was able to argue, she would be happier, but just because they didn't argue,
so
doesn't mean that they had a happy marriage.
So that part, I was kind of, I don't want to say I was feeling her, but I was feeling her, because it wasn't necessarily, she was, when she was talking about it, when she got to the fed up point where she was just like, I'm unhappy, it was because, one, she never really wanted to get married. She didn't want the whole formalness of getting married. And that was, she felt like she was pressure on her mom's side after having the baby and all this other stuff, that not only does she want them to get married, that they should have a ceremony. So on top of that, like, her life's work, she wanted to be an actor. So she has this baby. Now she's Will Smith's wife, and her whole life and dynamic has changed while Will is still Will. Like, Will is still out here living his best life, being an actor. Like, in the spotlight and everything, and she was just unhappy, which I get it, because I feel like a lot of times when we get married, when we have children, our roles change so drastically as women, and we have to change our routines, change how we do certain things. But a lot of times nothing changed for the man. Like, they still going to work, they still hanging out, like, stuff doesn't change. So she was just unhappy because she felt like, what I'm taking from it, she wasn't fulfilling her purpose and what makes her happy. Will was doing stuff that she thought would, that he thought would make her happy, like building her the house and having his family, but
So,
subconsciously he was just feeling his happiness. And the whole
right.
time she was just like, I don't want all this shit. You doing this shit for you, and I'm fucking unhappy.
So that was the part that hit home with me because, um, there ain't nothing we could do about it now. But like another issue JT and I had in our first marriage was his method of his means for providing for us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that shit. I mean, I still fucking don't. It's just that there's nothing that I can do about it now.
Right.
Um, and I get where he's coming from. Like, he wants to provide for us. So in his mind, he's doing a good thing because he's providing for us. But I felt Jada like, I didn't ask for that. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if I felt her when she was talking about that island shit too. Like, if we were stuck on the island, what the fuck would we have?
Right.
You know what I'm
This
saying?
nigga talking about the island because we owned it. I was like, Will, shut the fuck up. Even Willow was like, oh my God.
I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like sometimes I feel like men can get into that whole label of I have to be the provider, that they don't take into consideration of what it is that we actually need. Because personally, I mean, Jada didn't need a provider. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
she had a career before him.
Right.
I'm not saying that's not a good thing that he didn't want to provide for his family, but
He was so focused on that and his career that he forgot about keeping his woman happy
exactly. And so
and making
that's the
sure that she's
part,
happy.
right? That's the part that for me hit home, because it's just like, I didn't ask for a provider. Shit, I know me because I ain't Jada. I ain't got Jada money.
Love.
And this is no shade to you, JT. I love you so much. Love you so much. But if a bitch wanted a provider, okay, I would have got me a sugar daddy.
Right.
Okay?
We would
Let's
not be
just
up here
say.
having regular jobs.
I'm saying, like, okay. Love you, boo. Do you think they're in an open relationship or open marriage?
I am thinking that they are, and just because, and I pray that they're really transparent on the next part, like they were this one. But it seemed like she was kind of hinting to that when she was kind of explaining why she never wanted to get married, about how she just didn't like the rules of a
Right.
marriage and what you had to do as a wife, and what you couldn't do and what you're supposed to be and all this other stuff. It was too many constraints once you got that official title as being a wife, and she never wanted that. She just wanted it to be them together, like loving life. So I think low key, yeah,
I think so too. I just hope that
especially
they like just put the rumors to rest, because he kept saying like there's been a lot of rumors about us over the years. So I'm
right.
like hoping they just did
I
this shit
hope
and
y'all
let
talk
us
about
know.
it and don't try to like build it up just for us to watch, and then you don't even address it, because then I'm gonna be upset.
Right.
But yeah, like, you might as well just put out there, because at the end of the day, what works for you works for you. And especially since she ended the daggone episode talking about like she had her final joint where she was just like, I'm done, and they actually broke up for a while and he was devastated. So I'm sure he had to probably be like, all right, well, what do we need to do to make each other happy? And she probably was like, let's do our own thing. Let's be together but do our own thing. He
I
probably was like,
mean,
oh, I'm cool with that.
I actually don't think that he, if, and I'm just speculating, if they are in an open marriage, he sounds like he wanted. I mean, he said it. He wanted that family unit.
Right.
So
But I mean, it doesn't seem like he shot down the open relationship thing.
but that doesn't mean that at first he was with it.
Oh yeah, for
Listen,
sure. For sure.
dudes want an open marriage to benefit them,
For
not
sure.
to benefit us.
Hell no.
So I'm sure if she is the one that was just like, yeah, so let's do us, and then we're gonna still have this family unit. We're gonna
But if
still
we want to step
right.
out, then it's no pressure. She
I'm
probably was like,
sure he
we.
was like, nah.
I know I'm the Fresh Prince and I could do that, but I don't want us to do that.
Right. Of course.
Right.
So I cannot wait until
This
next
next,
week.
yes, when that next daggone episode drop, because Hunty.
I'm excited about the episode she's gonna have with Leah, whatever her last name is,
Yes, about Scientology.
because I'm so into that show, so
You
much
know that.
so that Scientology blocked me the
You know they
page.
got another one coming out next month, I believe. Did you see
Mm-hmm.
that? I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
be tuned in.
Can't wait, can't wait.
Yes.
So yes, girl. I think that was it for the tea this week.
Yeah. It's
It was
been
kind of
dry.
dry.
Yeah. That about it.
Yeah. So who wants to go first with the bad and the good and the bad?
Oh shit, I guess I'll go. I always struggle with this. So something because I always forget to think about it. So something good that happened this
Start with
week.
the bad.
Oh, something bad that happened this
Or you
week.
could start with the good, end with the bad, but then say something good that you want to happen the next week. If you want to go that way. You got
That's
to end
hard
on a
strength.
positive note. You know,
Okay.
law of attraction, words of affirmation.
Okay.
Positive, positive.
All right. So good. I got to spend some time with my mom not one on one because the freaking kids are here, but
Who is also a Virgo, y'all?
yeah. So let me finish my story. Don't claim her too quick. So so she was here while my husband was out of town at the homecoming that I was talking about earlier. He went to our college homecoming, and so she stayed at our house and like spent the night. And it was, good to have company, like adult company with not just the kids or whatever, like to just, chit chat. But honey,
What?
the bad.
What?
I did not realize my mom talked so goddamn much, bruh. Like my
Oh,
mom was rapping till the sun came up, until the joint went down. Wait a minute and sleep. Rap, rap, rap. I was just like, yo, shut the fuck. What are we talking about? Like, ma'am, shut up. Like, I swear my whole life I didn't know that my mom talked so much. And I think maybe it's just because like she doesn't have opportunities to like, cause with my dad illness and stuff, like he talks, but he doesn't talk. Like you're not having like no in depth, like intellectual, like what's going on in the world type conversations. And when I do spend time with my mom, it's usually like I'm doing something for her, or like we're running an errand, or like if I'm over there, like it's like for a couple hours and that's it. But like 24 to 48 hours straight, ma'am.
it's. I'm pretty sure it's because she just doesn't get to talk that much.
Yeah,
And you're her daughter, and she loves you and misses you.
I know. No, but dog, Rap City. We was watching Making a Murderer, and I swear I paused that joint like 40 times. I was like, okay, what? Like, what are we talking about? Because I swear I'm trying to see what daggone Brendan and Steven are talking about. Like, what? What? And it wouldn't even be stuff about the show. So that's the bad that I was just like, I'm confused where this
That was a
talkative woman
good.
came from, because like, and growing up, my dad was always the talkative one, so I got my little talkative selfness from him. But she never was like the real talkative one. So the fact that I saw this side, I was just like, yo, I thought we was having a peaceful girls' time on this couch, and like you are rapping. She was talking about everything from sales at the grocery store to like talking to her best friend to the stories to.
Y'all should have just canceled Making a Murderer and just talked.
No, we wasn't canceling because, honey, that joint was released on Friday, and I said we are binging with tacos. Like, literally made some tacos, and it was lit, amazing. So that was the bad, because I was like, yo, yeah,
That wasn't that bad, but okay.
okay for you. But so the good, because we have to end on a good. Oh, so I also my son. I know. I think like even just last week, I was just like, I want to release like he's wild and spitting and hitting and flipping out.
Mm-hmm.
The past week, he has been doing good. Okay. Now I'm not saying that he's a completely changed child, because he will still swing on you. But he seemed like his energy, like he's calmed down a little bit. Like he hasn't been as wild. He's been a cuddler. which I can take in doses, but I'm just not a touchy-feely person. Woo, woo, woo. I'm like, okay, it's hot. I love you. But he wants to like continue and like linger and be like, all right, no, like even to the point where he like holds my neck and brings it closer. Like, no, I'm not done cuddling. But he's actually calmed down some. He only spit like twice this week, which is progress. And it wasn't like a full spit. One was like a little drizzle, like I'm just letting you know that I'm about to spit on the floor, and the other one was like I'm just making a noise to let you know that I could spit. So I am looking at that as a positive, and I want to claim that this amazing behavior continues to be even more amazing to the fact that it goes away.
And
So
it will.
I'm just happy that how I was feeling last week with the frustration, like I don't know what the hell to do. It seems like I don't know if he listened to the podcast and was like, all right, let me give her a break.
Oh, all right. You're
I'm,
done.
I'm not sure what it was, but I thank him, and yeah, so that's all I got. What about you?
My dad also has to do with my mom. So she FaceTimed me on
Mm.
one of these days, and I was confused because I have not spoken to her since January 2017.
Mm.
And then out of the blue, she FaceTimed me. So when I called my dad, he was like, "Well, did you answer?" No.
Right.
I don't even answer when like people I talk to on a regular basis just randomly FaceTime me. First of all,
You have to
that's
get
not
yourself
even
together.
FaceTime etiquette. Like you
Yeah.
don't just FaceTime
You
people.
gotta text somebody and be like, I'm about to
Right.
hit you up.
Like
You at
what the
home?
fuck?
What if you was driving? What if you was somewhere else?
I actually was shitting. I mean,
Oh.
if I'm gonna just keep it a buck. But even if I wasn't, I wouldn't have answered because like what are we doing? I've made it very clear. Honestly, this is what I think. What I think happened is I think my cousin listened to the podcast where I talked about her and probably mentioned it, said something. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't. I could be totally wrong. I just feel like I'm just not ready.
It could
You
have been a
know.
butt dial, a butt FaceTime. I know.
Well,
That's not how it works. I know. Being as though
cause
that you're not in the recent calls.
well, I just know that when mommy died and I called her because I was sad. Well, when I sent her a text and she didn't respond back to my text, even after she saw that obviously it was me because of what I said in the text. Her response to somebody was, "Oh, she didn't have my new number."
Uh-huh.
Okay, sis. um, yeah, everybody's response was just like I should have answered. And what pissed me off more so was that because I didn't answer was that I'm being petty. And I'm just like, so we just gonna forget like the 4 times that I reached out to her.
Yeah.
One of which was just this year for Amara's birthday.
All right.
Not even for me, but for her.
But she
And
don't. I mean, it's not like she knew what was going on. Like you could have legit been doing something. Like at the time. Like
I'm just saying, I don't it pisses me off. Like I the bad for me this week is that I'm still expected to be the bigger person with someone that is fucking twice my fucking age.
right.
That is my fucking mother.
Right.
Like, I want a fucking apology. I said what the fuck I said. And I
So
don't want the apology via fucking FaceTime.
so you would rather it be face to face.
I I just feel like if we're not gonna we haven't talked in almost 2 years. January will be 2 fucking years since I've heard this woman's voice.
Right.
What you're not gonna do is send me a fucking. You're not gonna FaceTime me on Saturday night and just expect me to fucking answer. What the fuck would I answer it and say what?
Hey
Hey, what's
girl,
up?
hey.
Not no. You're not a chatty patty bitch. No. Hey girl, these nuts. No. That's
I
not
don't
how
know.
this
So
works.
what are you going to do from here? Like, how are you going to let her know that the only way that we're going to open up this dialogue is if it's face to face? Like, how are you going to let her know that? Are you going to tell your cousin to relay that to her? Are you going to text her? Are you going to FaceTime her back? What are you going to do to let her know, like, this is not how it's about to go down? Let me tell you how it will go down.
So what I will say is that after I saw that she FaceTimed me, I had my daughter call FaceTime her on her phone and they talked for like 30, 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, excuse me, I sent her a text and I said, you know, thanks for chatting with Mara. She was really happy. So
Mm-hmm.
that was my way of saying, like, I acknowledge that some effort was made somewhere, whether it be accidental or whatever the fuck. I'm acknowledging
I see you, boo.
She did the little thumbs up, that iPhone text messages things do. I don't know if they do it on them other phones, but yeah.
Yeah.
So she did
She
that,
liked your comment.
and that was fine. I've been told my aunt and my cousin like almost a year ago that if she wanted to talk to me, like these were her options for trying to reach out to me.
Right.
So this random, just out the blue on a Saturday FaceTime thing, it's just not it. Like,
Maybe she was drinking and thinking, boo.
but this is what I'm calling bullshit. My cousin was at her house a couple of months ago and was like, "Yeah, I'm in your old room, and yeah, Auntie is crying because she misses y'all." And I'm just like, "But fam, last month when I called her for Mara's birthday, she didn't answer, and she never made any attempts to reach out to her to say happy birthday." So like, I'm calling bullshit on the tears. And then even after me saying that, was that message relayed to her? Did she get on the horn and be like, "Well, I'm gonna call her now and tell her"? No, it was just when she decided that she didn't want to be petty anymore. She felt that it was okay just to reach out, and everybody else thinks that I'm supposed to just be fine with that. And everybody can suck all 10 inches of my big fake dick. Like,
no. I was about to say, wait a minute, what are we
talking? Yeah, I reserve the right to be petty. It's been 20 years of this bullshit of me being the big person. I'm done. So that's the bad.
Okay.
The good
what
is
the good?
I got a job offer.
Where's the cannons? Boom.
I'm not happy where I'm at. My boss doesn't know that I have a job offer yet, so I guess I should tell him before we post this. In case one of my coworkers listens.
Oh, when are you going to put your notice?
I guess tomorrow now.
Oh shit! Oh shit! We're gonna have to push the release of this podcast back.
Yeah, I kind of just got this job because it was a job in this area. I needed one. It came in, the clutch time because I actually moved here with the promise of another job, and that job BS. And this came through like clutch time. Right. But I never felt like it was like a good fit for me, and I just not happy there. So like, I'm so happy I got this job offer, and
I'm so happy for you.
And it's more money.
2019 is about to be lit. We said 2018 was gonna be our year, but this is about 2019 about to be our year.
Yeah, we say that every year, so I'm not even saying that about 2019 because I feel like that's a jinx. So
we just gonna be like, oh, 2019 gonna be all right.
The rest of this week, I just wanna. I see my husband this week, so yeah.
Yikes! So I probably won't talk to you for like the next couple weeks.
You knew.
You be blessed, beloved.
Do you mind if I stroke
All
you?
right.
I don't mind.
All right, listeners, this is that time of the podcast where we start drowning out Shay. And we thank you for listening.
Lick you from your head to your toes.
We ask that you guys go ahead and follow us on Twitter, the Chatty Pattys, as well as Instagram, the Chatty Pattys. Go on our website, www.thechattypattys.com. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Are you offended by me talking about sex? Since we talk about offensive culture, are you offended when I talk about sex?
How did I say I was going to respond? Oh, all right. So we thank you for tuning in. As you guys do every week, we appreciate your support, and we see you out there, listeners, and we see you out there telling a friend to tell a friend, and we appreciate you guys. And anything else that you want to say, Shay?
It's going to be sexual in nature, so I'll let it go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Y'all be blessed, beloveds, and we will talk to y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.